with the Younique You. I tell ya, communication. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you everyone for joining me. It's always fun to be on this end of things and the little things you don't see or know that go on. Needless to say, it provides a lot of laughs for my husband and I, which is a good thing these days. Well, again, my name is Melissa, and I'm with the Younique You. I'm a unique presenter. And tonight you are going to see a live tutorial of some brown smoky eye. So I hope you will love it. And if you're catching me live, you'll see one of the red lights. Hey YouTube, thanks for hopping on. We'll be kind of changing things up in the next coming weeks. So if you don't see me YouTube right away, live, trust me, there will be something there. But if you would, go ahead and click subscribe, hit the bell, click the all. I would love to have you. So without further ado, no, just kidding. So tonight I'm going to use some fun colors of different shades of one color, if that makes sense. And while I am trying to figure all of that out with my wording, I am going to go ahead and get everything pulled up here. Please, if you are here, say hello. It doesn't always tell me. That's the other reason I'm trying to get this to come up, if my things will work. Alright, so I would love to say hello, and it's always fun to have everybody with, and I think I saw something from Dad. I'm not sure if you heard Dad, but hello. So anyway, if you are a beginner with eyes, I'm still always learning and will always learn for the rest of my life, but kind of gonna give some tips and tricks along with this if I can picture what or do what I'm picturing. Does that make sense? Anywho, our starts, they always kind of throw me off, honey. Which is fine, whatever. It's okay. Hopefully you'll laugh after what I said once it gets to you. He has a delayed feed in what we do, so it's always funny to, like, I'm saying something and I'm like, did he hear it yet? So anyway, we're going to start with our primer. Now we've got 3 different primers. Tonight I'm going to use the hydrating primer again. This one's almost gone, but this is our original face primer. Then we've got the hydrating, and we have the matted primer. Okay, I almost said matted foundation. I mean primer. So it comes out clear. It's got a little pump. So I just kind of do 1 squirt. It comes out clear. Then I still kind of mix it in between my fingers, and then just kind of start dabbing where I want to apply. And then just soft circular motions to get this, can't remember if I did over here, to get this all over where we want to use it, okay? So the primer, what this does is it helps to, Bill from the YouTube Academy. Hi, Bill. How are ya? Thanks for joining us. I'm trying my best here. I've got this side restream program that we use, and I've got my other phone, so I'm always like looking a few places. So this primer, it helps to I always lose my train of thought. It's been that kind of night since we hopped on. But anywho, the makeup primer is going to help just keep the makeup sit on the top of your skin. It's not going to sink in, okay? Alright, so next we're going to try and figure out, let's see, what foundation. I think I'm going to hold off on the spray foundation. Reason is it's so popular. And a lot of it is out of stock. A lot of our precious favorite shades, they're out of stock. But have no fear, they're coming back. I think I heard August, maybe? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, if you do need to be color matched though, and you really want to do the spray foundation and you've not been color matched, send me a picture, okay? Otherwise, a lot of the shades are kind of, what do you want to say? Not multi-versatile, but they kind of cross over like in the same things. So like for for existence, for example. It has been a day. I've got the spray foundation in Organza, and I also have it in the powder. That makes sense? Okay, so kind of hops right along. Now, there are a few of our other ones like this that are not the pressed, mineral pressed powder, that have different shades, and I would want to color match you in that. Okay, so I think tonight I'm going to use, oops, wrong spot, my BB cream and my pressed powder. I haven't, well, I guess I was going to say I haven't used that in a while, but I think I did like a couple times ago. Okay, so I'm going to use my kabuki brush. It's one of my faves. And you can find all these products that I'm using tonight on my website, younique.com. Alright, so we're just going to start applying, and the other thing I was going to tell you once I put my primer on is you want to let the primer sit for a minute or two just to really kind of get into your skin and do its thing, and then it'll be ready for what we're doing now. Okay? Alright, so when I'm using the kabuki brush and I'm adding, whether it be your foundation or your BB cream, I like to do a stipple motion, which is this kind of pressing into the skin. Okay, then if you wanted to, when you're done blending this in, you can take your little sponge here and just kind of dab at it too to really give that extra push. And then also too, if you have too much excess of it, it will take any of that off. If you do have dry skin, of course a good one to use is the hydrating primer, but also too, a little before I hopped on, I used my day moisturizer. So just to kind of add layer upon layer of moisture really helps. And for me, I tend to suffer with dry skin. Majority of the time though is in the winter, so evidently winter has made a reappearance in our area. So if you're a winter fan, maybe you want to come to Minnesota. I, on the other hand, we always say, why are we still here in the winter? Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit more, which, by the way, this is the BB Flawless Complexion Enhancer in the color Bisque. I think I forgot to say that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of this. I think I didn't get enough on the sides of my face, so I'm just going to finish adding this in. Oh yes, we got kudos for this month. Okay, so I think I'll have you bring it up, babe. Thank you. He's already ahead of me. Look at him go. So for this month's kudos, and every month we have a different kudos, okay? And it's exciting because this is included in there. It's exciting. So you get to pick your choice of foundation. It does exclude the spray foundation, but pretty much any of the other ones, the stick foundation, the liquid, you know, you can pick anything, even the BB cream that I'm using now. Then of course your primer, which is the one like I use. So I used the hydrating primer and put my hair in it too. And then, the regular primer along with the mattifying. Then you can choose a brush. So the one I'm using is a good one to use if you really like to have kind of like an all-over face brush. And there's many other ones to pick from. There are these guys listed on there, but right now I'm not sure if they're coming back. I know they had brought them when we had one of our anniversary celebrations with Younique. There's some hair everywhere. It must be coming off my brush or my eye. So you can choose any of those, and this is just by month, okay? So every month we have a new kudos, and it's for $78, okay? Super, super good deal, and I think, yeah, I was gonna say it's 25% savings is what I was thinking. Okay, so now I've kind of futzed with this way too much, so we'll just let it sit for a minute. I kind of like to let it settle in, not obviously into our skin because we've got that layer of primer, but I just like to let it settle before I start in with the powder. They're two P words. But while we're doing that, I thought I would have you all help me solve a problem. I'm debating on, I know for sure I'm going to use this liquid shadow. This one is in Ornate. It's a really pretty brown one since we're doing the brown smoky eye. And the other color in the picture that we have that goes with it, I can't decide. Oh, jeez. I can't decide between these two shades. I just totally dug the cover into there. Oh, well. Okay. Hold on one second. These unplanned things happen all the time. Okay. So, we have got Elegant in the Splurge Cream Shadows to go with it, or we can use our beautiful Beachfront Bronzer. And I'm not sure, these were retiring. There was one of the darkest shades left. I think this one's unfortunately gone. But if no one has a favorite, then I think I will just go to the Splurge Cream. Okay, this is in the color Elegant. Super, super pretty too. Okay, and then the other thing that I'm going to use with it is going to be the Moodstruck Press Shadows. And this is in the color Gullible. We're going to use that as our back shade color. Okay, what is with me digging my fingers into the shadows tonight? Oh my goodness. Okay. Hopefully I didn't get it anywhere else. Still feel a little hair right here. Okay. Alright. Oops, I just bumped the mic. Sorry, guys. I've got to back this up, otherwise I have no space. Oh my gosh, what? It is a hot mess over here. Hot Mess Express. You want to jump on? Holy moly. Where did this like come from? It must have all just been stuck in my fingernail. Anybody want to jump on the Hot Mess Express? Oh my gosh, it's all over the table, honey. Sorry guys, it's been a day. And evidently it's still been a day tonight. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll just tell you, I'm going to go ahead and apply my lovely powder, okay? So I'm going to use my buffing brush in the Real Techniques. Still feel hair right here, I tell you. I think I got it. Okay, so I do tap any excess, and I like to start kind of always on the side. Why, I don't know, between here and the side. And I just press this in what I've used in the first application of the powder. I knew my hair was going to be a problem leaving it down, but that's okay. So then I do like to tap any excess off. That way one spot doesn't like get compiled with a ton of powder in a row. Does that make sense? Okay. So the reason you're like, how come you haven't dipped back into the powder? The thing with these powders is they go a long way. A little bit goes a long way. I'm going to tell you that now. Look at this. We've done almost half of my face with just the two applications. This seems to appear more lately. I don't know if I'm sleeping funny on my head, but I kind of got some, not wrinkles, but like indents or something. Okay, so back to this product. The thing I really love about it, aside from you don't need a lot, is that you don't feel it. Does that make sense? It's very light. I mean, like, light as air, really, is a good way to describe it. Do you think, honey, when we talk about that? Yep. So, the other thing I can tell you is there is different kinds of powders. There's a loose powder, a pressed powder, and I'm trying to think of just the Younique touch powders, what those are. But I just love these because not only does the BB cream work well together with it, but the powder is just a good match, and you can have a good match with any of them, really. Okay? So I'm going to show you kind of how I get in the tiny little spots. I tend to have like these problem corners, and then underneath here it's hard to get into. I have a favorite little brush I discovered, and I'm sure we have one with Younique, I just haven't got it yet. My Deluxe Crease brush with Real Techniques. And I just like to tap that into the powder, and I do just this little corner right here and under my eye. See that? Now you can use a concealer. I just haven't been using it a lot lately for some reason. No real reason. I think sometimes I tend to forget about it. But you can use the same color in the concealer. Okay, I just happen to have Velour. This is the original shade I was matched in, but because we've come out with some, still feel that hair. We've come out with like some in-between shades. I've kind of bumped in between now, okay? So, doesn't mean I still won't use this, because it still goes, okay? Alright, now, let's go ahead and start the eyes. So we're going to start with our base color, which is that Gullible shade. And I'm thinking that I'm going to use, let's see, did I use the brown on this one last time? I can't remember. I think I may have. So, this one is an IT brush, and because this cover thing never came off, it's a blending crease brush. My hubby and I were just talking about blending brushes today. I do have to say there's reasons for loving both and maybe one versus the other, okay? So this one here, we always have the type of brush it is, which is really helpful. On here it tells you what kind. Mine's worn off because I love it so much. My blending brush versus this one, I feel like has more give for blending. This one has some. This one I feel like maybe the brushes, bristles, however you want to say it, the little hair, fine hairs on here, they tend to move a little easier, where this one's kind of more precise. Does that make sense? So I'm going to use this one here to kind of be more precise with my crease line. So I'm going to dip into the Gullible, and I'll show you it gets a lot on there. You don't need a lot, just lightly tap. And I'm going to build my own crease because I have hooded eyes. And you're like, what are hooded eyes? Hooded eyes are when I open my eyes, you don't see my lids. Okay, you know how some people you can naturally see their lids? Mine, you don't, so I just build my own crease. See how I made it up higher than where this crease is? Okay, that way we can show more of my crease. Okay, now I'm blending this because we want to make it look natural. We don't want to just have one perma line. Does that make sense? So I'm going to dip just a tiny bit more, and I'm going to carry it over a little bit and then bring some back. And then the reason they call it a blending brush is you kind of want like a windshield wiper motion to go back and forth. And I'm just realizing I didn't use my eye primer, so we're not going to worry about it for this part, okay? But typically you would want to add your eye primer, especially if you have hooded lids. Now with the crease being higher, it won't matter so much, but it's going to matter for what I put on my lid, okay? So I'm going to use that when I'm done here. The primer is going to help keep the eyeshadow on, because when we blink, the way the hooded lids work, it kind of just starts working it off, or it's going to make it stick up higher. So it just helps to keep it in place, okay? And not only keep it in place, but to last longer, okay? Alright, so now we're going to take some more Gullible. We're going to work on this side, and again, we're creating our own crease. And when I do my crease, I like to stop usually where my eyebrows end, on the ends here. Kind of working on growing some of these out a little more because I don't know what happened. I know I need to see my hairdresser, but the poor girl, along with many others, they're still waiting to open. And we all can't wait, right? Until we can get there. Okay, so now, of course, I'm going to take this one. I don't want this here. The other thing you can do is take where you did your little creasing here I don't want that brown there. For some reason, it must have got on another part of my bristles. I didn't know. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take a little bit more. Oops, wrong brush. Get the right brush. And I'm just going to carry this over again, and we're going to blend it back and forth. Windshield wiper motions again. And if it gets back up there, we're just not going to worry about it. Okay. And you're like, how come you just keep waving that thing back and forth? Well, this is how you want to blend, okay? It's going to make it nice and even. It's not going to let one specific thing sit in one spot. That makes sense? Okay, so we're already building our smoky eyes. Don't they look pretty? Okay, so now enter eye primer. Okay, I'm going to show you. You don't need a lot. Literally, this dot with a tiny little dot above it. It just so happened it got there. So you just want to put it wherever you're going to need the primer. I'm putting it below my makeup crease, meaning I created my own. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Same little dot. The other thing I was going to tell you too is some people like to do their eyes first. For me, it just has always been natural to do my eyes first. I have tried so hard to do the opposite, and I just can't seem to do it. You know, it's like teaching an old dog new tricks. That makes sense? It's kind of how it is right here. Okay, so now comes another really fun part. Okay, so with our liquid shadows, these are the Moodstruck liquid shadow. Again, this is in the color Ornate. I have 2 other colors, and I think we have 6 total. I can't remember. Anyway, I've got Overt, which is kind of like a satin brown. And then I've got Egotistical. These are kind of both of like the shimmery looks, okay? And so that's a really pretty color I've used before too. Oops. Put the wrong one away. Oops. Okay. And if you feel like you have benefited or have learned a lot from this video, if you would go ahead and hit that button right there, invite your friends. I forgot to invite my friends. I should do that now, right? Okay, let's invite our friends. And I can never get the right thing to come up here. Let's see. It's not working. Oh well. We'll just forget about it and keep going. Okay, so what I was saying about these. Sorry, I'm kind of like a deer in a headlight. Sometimes I just get distracted. These have what they call a doe foot. Okay, so they got these little feet. Okay, so with this particular one, and maybe, honey, did I send you that picture? I thought I texted it to you. Sorry, I was going to have him put up the picture. So we start over on the side of the eye with the darker shade, okay? So I'm going to do that right now, actually looking in my mirror straight ahead of me. So I'm just going to create in this corner and right here, we'll kind of make our own little triangle. There we go. Okay, now her shimmer shades are going to be a little different than mine, obviously, so it's whatever kind of brown colors that you've got to work with. And I try to just bring it to a point. Then what I'm going to do is just lightly take my finger and just kind of press into place. You can take a brush if you want, but I find that it's easier to use my finger. And hers might be a little more shimmery than mine, which is okay. You can just kind of make it your own. That's what I love about it. It's like we're creating and painting our own canvas. And if you want to add another layer, you can, which I think I might. And then again, come in with your finger and just kind of press it all in. If you don't want to, you can just let it dry. And I'm trying to think on that picture how far over she brought it. Maybe what I'll do is I'm going to bring it over a little bit more. And then we can come over the top with our concealer a little bit. Just to make it look like we're doing it like gradient, which is a lot of fun. And I really, really, really love this color. Isn't it so pretty? Okay, so this is how we're going to make our smoky eye. Okay, so now I'm going to take just a tiny bit of concealer, and by tiny I mean tiny, and I'm going to use my Younique concealer brush. It's one of my new favorites. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit, but I'm going to shake this first because it's been a minute since I've used this. And I think I'm going to need a new one soon too. Okay. So you want to make sure a lot of these products that we have, you want to shake them, okay? So hopefully this will come out solid and not squirt everywhere. Yep, it's coming out solid, okay. Oops, come on. So by tiny, I mean tiny, okay? Because a little bit, again, is going to go a long way. So now we're going to create another canvas piece. And of course it wants to lump in one spot. Hold on. Just gonna get a tiny bit more if it'll come. There we go. Okay, so what we're doing is working this gradient piece to make them look like they're combining, and I'm using the concealer kind of as a base. Does that make sense? So then what we'll do is let that set for a minute, and I'm taking the concealer over the top of the brown shade we just added on, which is Ornate. I'm still learning all the colors to these guys. So I'll let the concealer sit for a minute. And then I think we'll start with, let's see here. I wonder if this, trying to figure out which brush I want to use. This one. I think in fact that's what we used last time. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take one of my Morphe brushes that is kind of like I think it's the concealer version of our Younique brush, but just a little smaller. And I'm going to take into my Splurge Cream, if I could think of the words. And again, in the color Elegant, I'm going to dip my brush in here. It's kind of like a spongy consistency, but it works really well because it kind of acts like a liquid shadow, but it's just more stocky consistency. I'm just going to take, and you can use your finger too if you want, but I'm just going to pat this color over the top. See how pretty that is? And then I think we might come back in and correct just a little bit more right here. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I think I just like it like this. Maybe we'll just blend it a little in the middle, okay? Okay, so I'm going to tap a little bit more so we can really make sure we've got that concealer covered. And then if you need to just kind of get your little crease in there, you can. Okay, And because I've got my distance contacts on, I am going to get one of my little mirrors for up close here. So hold on. Can't remember. Yeah, I did. Okay. So I'm going to look a little bit closer at what I'm doing here. And what I'm going to do now, to hopefully, I'm hoping this will work, is I'm going to lightly take my blending brush and just blend these two together. And then I think I'm going to come back over with my other color a little bit more. And evidently whoa, that's way too much. It just all wanted to come out together. Holy moly. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit more over the top. And we've kind of built our little curve right here. Looks really pretty, doesn't it? I'm loving it. Trying to get some right there. There we go. Okay, another thing I'm going to do real quick is kind of come back in with the Gullible back into the crease. Just to really show through for that smoky part. And notice how I'm trying to keep it away from where this color is, okay? And that again is Elegant. Do you think we need a little bit more back on here for this, or are we good? I think it looks pretty good, huh? Okay. Alright, so now, same thing on the left eye. We're going to come in with a really beautiful Ornate, okay, the liquid shadow. And now we'll try and do the same thing on this eye. See if I can get this mirror to do the same thing it did before. And you would want to be careful how you pull it out. It kind of acts like a suction once you get it out of there. We're going to kind of start drawing our little line. Come down over the corner, into the corner. Then I kind of transition back this way so I can see more of the big picture. Not that I can't with the other way, but and then I come in with my finger again, just pat that on there. Okay. And I'm bringing in that second layer. Using everything else that's already on the doe foot applicator. And I'm trying to keep away from my crease I already created, and if you need to correct things, you can just go back and correct it if you need to, okay? Oops. Get down in there, little guy. Alright, now it's nice because even though it comes out liquid, it kind of dries almost to a powder consistency, and it does make it easy to get off your finger, okay? Alright, so now let's go ahead and do our concealer. So we'll do that on this front part again. Don't know why I closed it when I need it open. Okay, so remember we don't need a lot. This is probably too much. We'll just start. So we're just building our canvas again. So you always need a base, right? And then you work over that base. Am I missing something? Okay. And notice how I did it below my crease. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to go back in with this here, but I'm going to let that set for a minute. And kind of as you begin and learn all these different little techniques, you'll be able to kind of adjust and tweak things as you go, okay? That's the beauty of learning, right? Okay. I'm going a little long tonight. I apologize. I was hoping for this to go a little quicker, but I seem to be having a few little mishaps along the way. Okay, so now if you get this little dealy bob here where you got your concealer that went down too far, just take this little guy and just kind of work it in, okay? Sometimes that'll happen and that's okay. I feel like, did I remember to do eye primer on my left eye? I think I did. It's been kind of a silly night, hasn't it? Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to get our beautiful, beautiful color, Elegant, and we're just going to pat this on. Okay, so I'm going to get my little mirror out again here. And you're like, how come you're just patting it on? Well, I don't really want to necessarily get it all over the place. I just want to kind of pack it in the one area. And then we're going to come back in and build that crease a little more and define it a little more. That way we've still got the smoky part of the eye. Okay. What do you think of these colors together? Do you like them? And I know it's always harder to blend these kind of colors, but sometimes this makes for a really beautiful, not only smoky eye, but just kind of like a dramatic look. Okay. Kind of carried a little too much over this way, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. So I'm just going to come back in and where's the one I had? Like, where's all my brushes going? I'm going to come back in and I'm going to use some of my Gullible. And we're just going to build this crease right back in. Right at the top here. And then if you need to, you can take some of this again. If you didn't want as much carrying this way, you could carry it over. That was not my plan over here. I wanted to keep it, you know, the same. And I may fix that when I get off camera because I'm kind of picky that way. But you can just kind of make it your own, okay? So I'm just kind of using that picture as a guide, not necessarily trying to mimic every single thing, but kind of just learning all the different techniques you need to do the smoky eye, Okay. And if you do ever have any questions, be sure to either comment below or you can send me a message. And also too, if you ever need help with anything or have any makeup questions, feel free to message me. And you can find all these products on my website right down here at youniqueyou.com. Okay, so the other thing I totally did not even think about, you guys, is for lips. I have not even thought about it till now. So I'm kind of thinking, do we want to go light or do we want to go dramatic? That's the question. Kind of thinking more of a softer lip. Has anybody got a favorite? Maybe we could do our Luxe lip gloss again, or should we do something a little darker than this? Not quite sure. Let's look at the other ones. Well, I don't know if I have enough on this one. That's the thing. Maybe
the pink one.
The pink one. I've got the upper class one. I'm like, I can't read that. It's this one. Or are you thinking like a different kind of pink? This one? Okay. Hubby says upper class. So let's do that. You can use a lip liner if you want. If I did, I would use Pouty. It'd go really well together. I just don't feel like a lip liner tonight, so I'm just going to do this. Okay. This is our Opulence line of lipsticks. Many, many different shades available. I myself have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. I think we have like, what, 15 or 18? I don't even know. There's a lot. There's a lot. A lot of fun ones. We, of course, have lip glosses. We've got, we got at lip stain, which is kind of like a liquid. And then we've got the cream to powder, or powder to cream. Words. Okay, I keep looking over here. I'm going to use my setting spray. I've got some more of this coming, so I'm going to try and use this up, which I probably still won't because it lasts so long. I love it. Oh yes, we need some blush, my husband is telling me. Sorry. I just like when he reminds me. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to use the same color as last time, Sweet, if I can find it. Here we go. This is a really, really pretty shade. And I'm trying to think of which brush I've been using for what now. Okay, so let's put some of this on. Can't believe I was going to forget the blush. What the heck? I've been trying to make these tutorials shorter, but they keep getting longer. Okay. What do you think? Is that good? Okay. Thanks for the reminder, babe. Totally would have forgot. Just like I almost forgot, what was it? I forgot it already. Okay, so again, you want to shake all the products. Let's go ahead and set our face. Okay. This is going to help the makeup to stay right where it's at. I feel like I'm spraying my earrings. Yes, you do want this much. The more, the better. I know that seems crazy, but it's true. Okay, so I'm going to just take my little fan. Hopefully it's not too loud in the mic. Just going to dry this off. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my mascara on. And then I will go ahead and take some pictures when I'm done. I'll post everything that I'm wearing, all the products. And then if you are catching the replay, go ahead, put hashtag replay. Obviously, if you're catching me live, you'll see the red live up in one of these corners. And that, obviously, you know I'm live. There's something else I was gonna say, and it's totally gone, which is fine. Something hanging out on my face there. Okay. I think I gave my hair a little shower. Okay, so now, where did I put my mascara? Here it is. I tell ya. Okay, let's use this guy. Here's my new favorite. I don't even remember where I got this. It's got a light on it if you like little lights, but it's also got an up-close mirror, which helps for me when I've got my distance contacts in. So, okay, let's go ahead. Oops, I can't do that way. We're going to use our Epic Mascara in the color brown, the Moodstruck Epic Mascara. And I'm just going to do my top lashes. Some people like to look down in the mirror because their lashes still go away from the top lids for some reason. I can't seem to do that. My lashes are too long. And so I like to look up and do it this way. You can add a couple coats if you want. I like to just kind of start with the one. And I try to look up before I blink like that, because now I'll have to fix that. Okay, same thing for this side. Hopefully you can see okay what I'm doing here. Well, I guess I'll really show you how to get that off now. Darn it. Okay, so while we're at it, I am looking to see what you guys would love to see for some tutorials, whether it be eyes, lips, face as far as application of anything. And I think I'm going to put up a poll in the next few days. And if you just want to holler out even in the comments what you'd like to see. I'm going to kind of be changing things around in the, like I said, the next coming weeks here. And so I'd love input along with thought we have going on, okay? So my little trick to getting rid of what I just had happen here, you want to let it dry just like we did. And now you're going to take the little spoolie and just kind of lightly flick at it. And that's going to take any of the stuff that's stuck, okay? Now, if for some reason you can't get it, maybe it's not dried long enough, like this one, I'm going to have to wait till I'm done. Because it just wants to be fussy like it is, okay? But, here we are. We're at Monday, and I do Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central. I may be transitioning from certain things between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all sorts of things, so just kind of be on the lookout everywhere. And again, I will post everything I'm wearing and take a few pictures, and I hope you all have a great week, and you'll see me here again Wednesday evening, and maybe for another smoky eye look. Thanks everyone for joining me. Have a great night. Bye.